I am grateful to them for the fact that we really worked exceptionally well. There are some things that, in my opinion, are destructive and definitely won't help us. And it's important that today I don't see them in our new versions of documents. And for me, this is important because dignity is important. Well, the question of concessions, that is precisely the question. And it's irrelevant. I believe that the issue of territory is a very painful one because Russia simply desires what it desires, and we don't need to go into further detail as it's a very lengthy discussion. We clearly understand precisely what it is they truly want. We can believe in this. Maybe someone doesn't believe in this, but we clearly know 100% what they want. And it's important that our American partners clearly understood me. For me, Ukraine's position, which is clear, without unnecessary commas or ellipses, for me, that was the most important. And of course, we have different positions with Russia regarding territories.
This also needs to be understood and openly talked about.
My dear Friedrich, and above all, Mr. Chancellor, to all the esteemed representatives of German companies, and to the esteemed representatives of German industry, and finally, my dear friends, I thank you for your attention and your support for Ukraine. We value this tremendously. German support for Ukraine at this time, a time so challenging, crucial, a time of war for our defense, for our recovery after Russian attacks. This is truly leading support in Europe. This is a very substantial amount of aid. We thank you. If Germany had remained indifferent, Europe would not have been able to resist this evil that Russia has brought upon our land, this historic outcome that you have chosen the side of normal life, the side of Europe, the side of democracy, and are helping to defend against Russia's aggression, an aggression that is imperialistic, absolutely unjust. Your assistance to Ukraine, to the Ukrainian people, the help from Germany as a nation, from Germany as a leading economy, from Germany as people first and foremost, who are not indifferent to what happens right next door in Europe, truly keeps history on the right course. We greatly appreciate that after Russia's invasion of Ukraine began, German companies were not afraid and continued to work in Ukraine. We are grateful to you for preserving jobs. We are truly grateful that you have maintained the support of the people. This work, it represents a tremendous support. Thank you very much. This is incredibly important. We want to express our gratitude, I personally, to every single German company, every business leader, and indeed everyone in Germany for this. Yesterday and today, right here in Berlin, we successfully conducted our consultations with the American side. And this is also a very important conversation. Berlin is such a central hub for today's crucial diplomatic decisions. Our discussions are always like this. They are not easy, I will tell you honestly, but this conversation was productive. There were truly many details, and it is important that a significant amount of time is devoted to the discussion. I thank Friedrich, you and your team for organizing all these opportunities. Our teams are working. The focus on this is without a doubt very serious. We are proceeding point by point. We are defining the steps needed for peace to be truly worthy. For us, this is important.
Dignity for Ukrainians. Dignity, therefore.
There is such an important word that we very often focus on. And dignity, that's what stopped Russia. That's how people are in Ukraine. And we will continue our diplomacy aimed at bringing an end to this war. We must meet and work to create decent conditions for the war's conclusion. We must not forget where this war came to Europe from, who brought it here, and who is doing absolutely just things to defend themselves against this war. The European unity is truly restoring a sense of justice to the situation. I am confident that Germany will continue to be by our side. I am very grateful to the Chancellor and personally to Friedrich, and I am grateful to the majority of the German political community for ensuring that this year we have received the essential support, the crucial assistance. And it is very important that Ukraine, during a time of such a war, not only appeals for aid and support, but also proposes joint projects, which you have already discussed today, joint production, shared results that can strengthen both us and you, primarily technologically. Of course, the very first thing today is defense production. We are doing our utmost to ensure our defense technologies stay ahead and provide our soldiers with tangible results on the battlefield, practical results. And it is specifically in Berlin that we are preparing one of the first offices which will be responsible for arms exports and joint manufacturing projects with your country, with Germany. Germany is indeed one of our largest trade partners in Europe, and it will continue to be so. I am confident of that. And it is one of the key tasks of the Ukrainian government to attract more companies, more contracts with Germany. This unites not only our and the German economies, but also creates a basis for even greater interaction within the European Union, as it somehow involves neighbors. The Ukrainian community in Germany is one of the most integrated, and these are hundreds of thousands of people who truly respect the country that gave them refuge. I want to thank you for your help to our people, for your support, for the Asiantana, for the very strong, vital, important support, for providing jobs, for all kinds of support. We thank you for this, and I thank you for your clear support of Ukraine's accession to the European Union. Dear friends, while various diplomatic processes are currently underway, including negotiations that could potentially bring about an end to the war, we must not forget that the devastating blows of this Russian war of aggression are continuing every single day. Putin is using the sheer brutality of these attacks as leverage in the ongoing negotiation processes. For many months, the primary target of Russian drone attacks and especially missiles has been our energy. In fact, right now in Ukraine, there isn't a single power plant left standing that hasn't been damaged by Russian strikes. But we are fighting. We are fighting, restoring, working, bringing light back to people, bringing life back however we can. This is a very complex process, and it's truly difficult to withstand the terrorist pressure Russia inflicts every single day. But our people, they are doing it. And after every single strike, we strive to restore everything as quickly and efficiently as possible. For this, we urgently require continued and unwavering support, both from the German government and, most crucially, robust assistance for our vital air defense infrastructure. And this is very important. I'm grateful that German companies are providing us with such strong support, working hand in hand with the government. You know what's very important in Germany and what we could always rely on, that if Germany says something, if it makes a promise, everything will be delivered on time. We highly value this. Thank you. Our ability to recover after strikes, our ability to produce weapons and deliver retaliatory blows, our ability to shoot down Russian missiles and drones, believe me, these are our additional levers in negotiations, additional levers in diplomacy. Also, in this particular context, Marquez, we are considering Germany's very clear position concerning the frozen Russian assets. The assets which are located specifically here are for the most part situated within the territory of the European Union. These funds must genuinely and completely be put to work for the defense against Russia's aggression. This is fair, this is reasonable, and it will certainly succeed. It is important that Germany supports this every decision that strengthens Ukraine and strengthens our shared Europe. This is a way to bring closer the end of the war. This is a way to convince Russia that their goals are unattainable. Peace must be an achievable goal, and only through cooperation can we truly bring it closer. Our joint cooperation, your cooperation with us, the cooperation of all our partners. I mean truly partners, not merely those on paper, but genuinely strong and effective partners, for the sake of each and every one of us, and therefore for the sake of our collective ability to live a normal life, to live in safety and security.
Mr. Witkoff, following your many hours of negotiations, he noted that significant progress had been achieved. Could you please elaborate on the specific details you are able to share with us, specifically in which areas has progress been made, particularly concerning the most sensitive issues? And does this particular thesis also apply to the question of territory? And my question is for Mr. Merz. Recently, Italy joined Belgium in opposing the use of frozen Russian assets to finance Ukraine, and this same position is supported by Malta and Bulgaria. Do you plan to resolve this issue somehow, specifically before the meeting of the European Council this week? And at which one was this decision supposed to be adopted? Because there's very little time left. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, first and foremost, this was our first meeting, or the first few days of meetings in this composition with Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner, as well as with the team from the United States of America. Prior to this, our teams had conducted similar meetings, and there were also meetings with European national security advisors. And as we know, many meetings of this American team were held in Russia with Putin. I had always very much hoped and wished for this particular team to come and visit Ukraine, but I was fully prepared that if, for various and different reasons, it wasn't possible for them to come, then we could still conduct a multi-hour conversation or even several discussions and truly try to understand each other's perspectives. And indeed, I can confirm that significant progress was genuinely achieved on many important questions. And I'll be honest, I don't know how the aggressor side will perceive this. As for the outcomes of our talks, it's important that we were heard. And I deeply understand the details of this war, and it's very important that our colleagues from the United States heard all these details. Certainly, if these meetings had taken place earlier, I think the progress would have been much greater. But I am grateful to them for the fact that we really worked exceptionally well. There are some things that, in my opinion, are destructive and definitely won't help us. And it's important that today I don't see them in our new versions of documents. And for me, this is important because dignity is important. Well, the question of concessions, that is precisely the question. And it's irrelevant. I believe that the issue of territory is a very painful one because Russia simply desires what it desires, and we don't need to go into further detail as it's a very lengthy discussion. We clearly understand precisely what it is they truly want. We can believe in this. Maybe someone doesn't believe in this, but we clearly know 100% what they want. And it's important that our American partners clearly understood me. For me, Ukraine's position, which is clear, without unnecessary commas or ellipses, for me, that was the most important. And of course, we have different positions with Russia regarding territories. This also needs to be understood and openly talked about. I'm glad we heard each other. And I think the US, as mediator, will propose steps to find some consensus. I'd like the US to continue mediating on these issues. In the middle, it would hold important prospects for us. Regarding other issues and recovery, what finances does Ukraine need? Who is needed? Who should pay for what? And whatever compromises there may be, you cannot compromise on the truth. But certainly, we must find a dialogue, and we will do everything to find answers, clear answers to the questions of security guarantees, territories and funds as compensation for Ukraine, to rebuild it. These funds won't just appear. We need to understand the source of this financing. And therefore, our position concerning the frozen assets, I think everyone has clearly understood. But many different agreements concerning both security and recovery, and a framework agreement on security, and a deeper agreement between the military regarding the details of this security. Much progress has been made. Much progress has been made. I am grateful for this.